still see the blessing. I never forget Ken Brown when he was going through his condition. He said, Pastor, I want you to promise me. He said, it doesn't matter which way this thing goes. I want you to let the saints know that I said, God is faithful. God is faithful. And that was somebody that was really going through, and different ones talking about, look how skinny your neck, and look how this look, and look how that. He said, let them know God's faithful. God's faithful. See, you can get in somewhere and you can pray one thing and get up believing that it ain't going to happen. And you're not even expecting it to. You double-minded. All that phony praying ain't worth a dime. If you're not going to believe God, what you praying for? Need somebody to not only believe him, but get out and talk him. Get out and boast in him. Boast in who he is and what he said he was going to do. Don't let your sight cause you to talk doubt and unbelief. Because when you do that, you nullifying. You are actually showing that you halted. You're saying God may do it and he may not. I don't know if we can really trust him for this one. You got to trust him when it doesn't look like it's going to work. That's why your belief got to go beyond the natural. If you're going to believe for supernatural intervention, your belief got to go into the supernatural realm and see God doing this thing. And you know why many of us can't do that? Many of us can't do that because we want to feel like we had a part to play. Yeah, I went in and I prayed and I laid my hands on them, and it ain't about you. It's about what God's going to do. He's going to always get the glory in the thing. And that's what we always have to know. I know I'm probably dulling some of you as far as you're being able to hear. Because, see, I'm in another whole realm here this morning. And this ain't no just, I'm going to trust in the Lord. You see, we go through all those things and we don't be meaning them in our hearts. And that's why in many circles you got 900 people on the sick list. Why? Now, you mean you're going to keep 900 people on the sick list? Somebody ain't believing that God is a healer. Because God going to heal somebody. He going to heal something to cause your faith to be lifted. He's not going to let 990 people be on the sick list and ain't nobody going to get healed. The same day he died for your salvation, he died for your healing, and you got to believe him for your healing like you believe him for yourself. Lord said, make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on yourself. Come to a decision. Make a choice. Because you're not doing nothing but fooling yourself. He said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And he said, let not that man think that he's going to get anything from God. So we're going to have to make it up. You know, this is something that you can't phony it out. You got to get real with this. Yeah, you can't come. See, we are so used to being phony people. We are so used to pretending. So we bring that manner to church. And we think we can do the same thing and nobody will know. But this is the one place you can't do it. Either you are or you're not. You can't phony in church. You can't do it. Because we got the Spirit of God in us. And the Spirit of God knoweth all things. No, you sitting in front of my face talking one thing, and the Spirit is saying they lying through their teeth. You can't fool nobody that's got the Spirit of God in them. Spirit of God began to say, don't believe a word they're saying. Spirit of God will also say, they real. They really real. They really mean what they say. You know this. That's why he says, know every man by the Spirit. Because, see, we done learned how to show. We done watched enough TV to know how to act better than some of those people we see. And we go to enough movies to know how to act. And you've watched enough soaps to know how to act. See, you didn't realize that when you be sitting there, that stuff be teaching you how to act when you get in a situation like that. That's why you love soaps. Soaps show you what people do in the world, what you're supposed to act like. So we get the soap mentality and try to bring it to church and go, oh. We try to make the stuff the soaps do work in church. They don't work. They don't go together. That's them people that's loving their life in darkness. And they showing you through the soaps. That's the way we do it. And when you are not spiritually minded, you can easily adjust to it because that's the way you were. And some are. So we can quickly allude to that. We can really look at that and we can embrace that because that's where our mind is. That's why you like soaps and that's why you like certain kind of movies. Some of us, cussing don't bother you. Why? Because you ain't stopped cussing yet. So it doesn't bother you. But when you decide that I don't want to hear all that cussing and I don't want to, that's not your spirit start jumping in you when it's coming. But when it doesn't bother you still, you haven't gotten angry enough and been convicted enough about that nasty tongue you used to have. So it doesn't bother you. It's supposed to bother you. But when you don't see nothing wrong, you see, there is a point in your life when you come on the Lord's side, you begin to hate the sin that made you mourn and drew you from his breast. I'm preaching good even if you don't like it. You got to hate it. You can't come on the Lord's side and still be loving what he disconnected you from. And that's why we don't many times keep no joy in the Lord, because we are too much in love with what our old life was about. So rather than go to the things that pertain to your new life, I'll leave that be. I don't necessarily want to hear no preaching today. I don't want to hear that. I'll go where I'm comfortable. Back to that. So every time you come in here and you're trying to give you spiritual bread, trying to give you spiritual food, it become a repellent to you. You repel it. You hate it. And that's why this man said, are you the one that troubling Israel? With all, in other words, he was saying with all that righteousness and talking about that God you got, and so, you the one? You've been troubling all Israel.